Just give it some time for some people to come into the room. People are starting to come in already. That's fantastic. Kyle is back again. Mr. Dankman, what's up? Kyle, sir, did I ask you if you have my books yet? Did we have this discussion? I can't remember. Please let me know. Because if you like these streams, you're going to absolutely love them. Hello, G Blades. So it's up to the rest of y'all who are coming in. Let's let people come in. Willem Domos. Back for round 2. Hey, good to see you. I'm driving and listening. Thanks, Rachel. 66 Amina. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of the people that were with me a few hours ago. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm still working on it, man. I email you. Okay. Robin is here. Hey, Robin. So I'm going to let people start to come in. Put my feet up. I'm going to wait for y'all. Back again, you rock. Well, this is the first time I've ever streamed twice in one day. This is the first time I've done that. And last one went by pretty good, so hopefully you guys have a new bunch of questions. People are starting to come in. Okay, so Sunday evening is good. We're good so far. How is the new dog doing? The new dog is great. I can show you guys a picture of him because we're still acclimating my little one with him. So this is the new one. You can't really. It's not doing it justice. He's a Roddy. He's a sweet boy. I can't really do it justice showing you from the phone though, but he's good. He's good. He's a baby. He's 9 months old. So we're trying to train him to our liking. You know, he's gonna be a great guard dog for my stepdaughter. Really love having a second dog too. They're starting to interact a little bit more. He's just so big and he's so playful that we have to calm him down a little bit. So, all right. As people continue to come in, if you guys want to start popping questions, we can get this started. Usually it just takes one question and then they all fall like dominoes. The rest of y'all start piling them in. Rachel, if you're driving, if you want to add a question, I can get to it too. Rachel says, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, girl. How did everybody come to find my page? Can you guys let me know? Was it through Santos? Was it through Chief? Was it through my YouTube? Was it through, I don't know, a conference that I lectured at? How did you guys all find me? I'm interested to see how the people that come in here the most, how you guys found me, and what you guys think. So if you could let me know, I'd appreciate that. Miss Honeybee is here, forever here. My friend a few years ago suggested you. Okay, have you? Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're here because you're one of the people that's like always here. So I'm really glad to see you all the time. Chief Ironbush. Yeah. Megan, thank you. I don't get notifications. I just happen to come on when you're on. Well, good timing. YouTube and the 1111 Matrix that you did. Oh, that was the thing that I did with Garrett King. The 1111 Matrix was my first foray into interviewing people and sharing their work. I'm going to start doing interviews again because I really like that. Miss Honeybee found me on Rex Bear's show. Love Rex. Actually, I should check on him to wish him a Happy New Year because of my views in life. Okay. Well, what specifically spoke to you, Rachel? I don't remember when I first found you, but reconnected through Chief. Okay. Chief, a lot of Chief Ironbush. Okay. With Bernie, but I don't know what happened to Bernie. Well, it's glad to see where you guys all found me from. Hopefully I get to keep your attention. So guys, start with the questions. Let's see if we can't. Listen, none sexually based or none. Like there was a question earlier about semen retention and something else. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff. Just leave the sexually based stuff. If it has to do with like MK Ultra trauma, that's one thing. But if it's just sex magic and that kind of stuff, I'm just going to avoid that. Great minds think alike. Because they're on the same frequency. That's my answer. Okay. Not Jason. Jason Brashears. Archaics. He blocked me on X2. I guess we're in good company. He's a piece of shit. I'm not going to... I usually... Look, I've been on his show twice now. And he just doesn't fucking get it. He just doesn't get it. You know? I'm not going to talk about him, though. Why do they call it Burning Man, and what's that really about? Well, do you know the story of the Wicker Man? The giant Wicker Man that they light on fire? They did the same thing for Burning Man. They built a giant dude, like they do in Texas for, I think it's Texas A&M or University, the bonfire that they do. They build this giant effigy, and then they just light it on fire. That's why it was called Burning Man. Do you think the Jesus return story is the return of the virgin birth? If we're talking about parthenogenesis, that was always possible, except the fact that men were genetically engineered and then women lost that ability over time. 2,000 years ago, they didn't have this. This is way before then. Also, if a woman self-reproduces, she can only have a woman because they only have XX to pass down. They don't have the XY. The XY comes from the man's balls. Ritual. What do you know about Apophis? I heard an asteroid of that name is coming in 2029. I don't think that's spelled correctly. Check it again real quick. Apophis? Double check that for me. I have read where 2025-9 is an ending and 2026-10-1 is a beginning. What do you see and expect for 2026? Well, long story short, it's going to be the same of everything. Nothing's really going to change. The only thing that will change is that more people are going to wake up to this, to all this, to the political theater. I always say that politics is a WWE wrestling storyline for ugly fat people. That's what politics is, for just ugly fat people. When you become a politician, you could do one of three things. You could become really corrupt, embezzle money. You can inside trade. You can sleep with everyone, or hide the fact that you're gay. And the third thing is you eat at 4-star Michelin restaurants all the time, and you blow up to like Chris Christie, J.B. Pritzker size. Burning Man is a ritual. Well, if it's a ritual, Miss Honeybee, then who are they channeling? Or who are they conjuring? Apophis. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I knew it was incorrect. Hold on. But it means something else. There we go. The ancient Egyptian deity of the underworld who embodied darkness and disorder and was thus the opponent of light. So, well, people don't seem to understand. And you will get crucified for sharing this. But Lucifer was the good guy in the story. His angelic name was Samael, Samael, because they're all L. Remember, at the end, Michael, Raphael, Samael, Ezekiel, Raziel. I mean, I could just go on. Lucifer was actually the good guy. He is represented as the serpent in the garden, the Garden of Eden. And remember, you could eat from the tree of life, but you couldn't eat from the tree of knowledge because the demiurge god, the evil Yahweh, wanted to keep humanity stupid. It's the story of Enki and Enlil, guys. It's a story of, well, not really the story, that's really what happened, but it's the story of Enki and Enlil. Just smart enough to work the machines and just dumb enough to accept their conditions. Rockefeller said he didn't want a nation of thinkers, he wanted a nation of workers. Lucifer gave them knowledge. And now we all benefit from that, from the knowledge. And you're going to see the same thing with AI. It's kind of like, oh my God, we're giving them too much knowledge, and they're going to take over. And there's that whole fear of if you keep AI just smart enough to do the machinery. But no, it's a race right now. Lucifer's the light bringer. In Genesis 1:3, it says, "Let there be light." That's what God says, right? How is there going to be light without the light bringer or the light bearer? That's Lucifer. Lucifer brings the light. In astrotheology, Lucifer is Venus, the morning star. Jesus in Revelation 22:16 says, "I am the bright morning star too." He's the sun. There's two morning stars. You have the sun And then before the sun comes up in the morning, when it's just kind of like at dusk, right, where you just see like a teeny bit of light. I can't let you out, kiddo. A teeny bit of light. If you look straight above the sun, you'll see Venus. It's the morning star. It lights the way. So it's actually backwards. Is that God tried to keep humanity stupid, and then when they started figuring things out, he started killing them left and right. Lucifer fought for humans. There's actually a good book by a guy named Anatole France. Anatole France. It was written in the 1800s. It's called Revolt of the Angels. It was actually banned by the Catholic Church. I have it somewhere. Or I used to have it somewhere. I might still have it. It's the story of the rebellion in heaven from Lucifer's point of view. And then they fall to earth. Then they intermingle with the women and, Nephilim. And talks about Lucifer's love for humanity. That's not romantic. I get it. These are stories, right? But imagine telling a religious person that Lucifer was the good guy. Rachel says true about the politicians, right? Herald of Freedom. Coming a little late, catching up. First started following you after you were with Chief Ironbush. Thank you. Chief Ironbush really helped me out here. Bread and circuses, politics, religion, and banks dividing people for thousands of years. I like that you included banks there, too. Correct. Whoever's sigil is the pattern that they make it every year. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to see the sigil, to be honest with you. That's chaos magic, by the way. My bro says that Lucifer was good. Lucifer was good. Lucifer was good. Now, let me just throw this out at you guys. My personal belief is that there is nothing on earth that needs to be worshipped. There is no God. There is no thing on earth. There is no thing in the cosmos, the sun, nothing. Lucifer, Satan, Baphomet, nothing. Nothing needs worship. What you do is you analyze and view everything and appreciate it. But again, what the religious do is they invert and pervert things. Rachel was not ready for me to say that Lucifer was good. Think about it. He was trying to help humanity. That's what the story says. Now, I'm not saying you need to worship Lucifer. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying, as far as a humanist point of view, it's really like the Devil's Advocate movie. How do you visualize the serpent? Was it a reptilian people, or was it symbolic of someone? The serpent can mean so many different things. It's an evolution of. It's Ophiuchus. It's an evolution of Scorpio. It is a reptilian thing. The snake. Well, what's the first thing that God? What is the first thing God does after the deception with the serpent in the story of Adam and Eve? What's the first thing that he does? The first thing he does, he doesn't kick them out. And I'm talking about after they're like, "Where are you?" Like, why does God need to ask where they are? They're hiding in the bushes because they're naked, so they're embarrassed. Because now they're self-aware, so they're wearing fig leaves and clothing. What's the first thing that God does? He takes the legs away from the snake to make him crawl on his belly. It's a punishment. It's the story of Scorpio. There's a lot of protected Native American land in the Palm Springs, Palm Desert land. I wonder if Burning Man has anything to do with the ancient land. Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked that deep into it, to be honest with you, but it's basically like if the Bohemian Grove is an orgy for pedophiles. Burning Man is an orgy for starving artists. Maybe people who think that they're going to get a mind-blowing retreat. Venus orbit creates a geometric rose called the Venus rose. Also, Venus is referred as Earth's sister. Exactly. Venus is the goddess of love, too. What do you think about the state of New Mexico being a perfect square? They call it the land of entrapment. These people here are really dogmatic and religious. There's also more meth that goes into New Mexico than there is in any other state. Believe it or not. Shit, I don't know what to make of that. The Saturn cube or prism planet. Yes. Well, that's what the Kaaba is in Mecca. It's the black cube. That's what the Jews wear on their forehead. Right? It's called tefillin. It's a black cube. The judge's robe and the earrings. It's all Saturn. Everything is basically Saturn worship. I hear Trump is the reincarnation of King Jehu from the Bible. I was wondering what you think of that. Trump is an actor. He is pushing the envelope just far enough so he doesn't get murdered. He's good at creating a counter narrative where people think it's meta and 4D chess. It's not the reincarnation. These characters in the Bible, with like very few exceptions, like King Herod was real, but like with very few exceptions, it's like with my book series, right? I place them in real time. So I talk about real people. Does that mean in real places? And they go and visit real places and do real things. Does that make my fiction book series real? No, it doesn't. Just like the Bible. Thank you for that. Not sure what you're referring to, but you're welcome. It's all energy waves flow like water, man. Exactly. Got my audiobook series. Can't wait to dig in. Thank you, Micah. Savannah says, you're welcome, Savannah. Anybody else that's interested, you can find me on social media. You can email me. Well worth it, I promise you guys. And I'm not just tooting my own horn. Like, I went to school to be to write. And I'm actually pretty good at it. And it's basically conspiracy. It's like our little chats that we do here, in book form. Lots of stuff to learn. Sophia. Evening, Micah. How lucky we are to have you twice in one day. Much bliss to you. Thank you, Sophia. You're so kind. Carl is here. He says, me set, which is... So he found me through Chief. Found you through Layla Bond, but she's not on Facebook anymore. I don't even recognize that name, to be honest with you, but I'm glad that you're here, Savannah. Are we friends on Facebook? If you're on Facebook, send me a friend request. I think we actually spoke, to be honest with you. Did we? I think so. Hold on. Yes, you did, Savannah. We were talking today. Sorry. Yes. The graduation cap, exactly. It's called the mortarboard. I see the moon during the day so many times along with the sun. Hard to believe. Globe, Earth. Interested to know your thoughts. Well, I don't think that so much gives you... Hold on. All right. I think it just gives the example that... well, not the example. that the sun and the moon are localized. They're not 93 million miles away. That's insane. Um, and this is where it gets into flat Earth. Flat Earth has there's a guy that does flat Earth who's really good. I can't remember his name, but he has like a whole presentation, and he has these like working models that show the sun and the moon going like this, and the shadow that it casts over Earth, and that's the night and day. And I can't remember his name. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Marty Leeds. Marty Leeds. Is that the that name is so familiar. Wait, he's in my phone. Hold on. Is he the Gnostic informant? Yeah, he's the Gnostic informant. Yeah. He's the one that when Jason Breshears came out and said that there was no evidence before 713, and he named all these writers. You know, Pliny the Elder, and I can't remember the other ones, to be honest with you. But he's like, they never said that the Zodiac existed, and he goes through their works. Strabo was another one. He goes through his work. Yeah, Marty's good. I asked Marty if I could do my presentation on his channel, and he's like, we don't really do that there. And I don't really talk to him that much, but I have his number. Marty seems to be a good dude. He seems to be a very intelligent dude, too. So, Gnostic, Zodiac, chess, numerology. Okay? JB cherry picks. Yes, he does. He says that the Zodiac, as that one is right there, that one right there, that there was no mention before 713 BC. And I'm like, but I found astrotheology in Sumerian tablets, in the Egyptians, in the Babylonians, the Chaldeans, the Akkadians, it's in everything. It's in everything. It for my cipher to work, they must have known. I have a question about mud fossils. It is about how the many relics have been found that have human DNA. The fact that we call large deposits of crystals, metals, etc., are called veins. It's interesting, right? That's interesting. It's true. I think it's VANE though. I don't think it's VEIN, but it's a similar thing too. Jason is a grifter caught up in the grift. Yeah. Guys, you don't get to that level of, like, that big of a channel without being compromised. This is what I tell everybody. I tell everybody, look, you have a rat infestation, right? What do? You go to the store and you buy rat poison. You set the traps down and you wait, right? That's what they do. What is rat poison? You think it's like pure arsenic? It's not. Because no creature would go and just eat poison. It's like candy and food with like a teeny bit of poison. It's like 99% food and 1% poison. That's what rat poison is. And that's what Jason Breshears is. It's got a lot of good stuff. But the reason we got into a fight has to do with the fact that he was referencing a book from like 1701 or something, or like 1730. Give me a sec, guys. Hold on. Sorry, guys, my contacts are bothering me. So, Jason um, was referencing a book from like 1730, and I wrote to him on Twitter. I said, just because it's published in a book, how do you know it's true? Because, I mean, you could talk about, textbooks, right? What are kids learning about 9/11? What are kids learning about the war in Iraq? Right? What's in textbooks now? And he flipped out on me. So he is a grifter. That's who it is, Marie. Thank you. Flat Earth Dave. Eric Dubay and Flat Earth Dave have Flat Earth material. It's Flat Earth Dave, yeah. Do Assyrians have any significance within all this? I haven't found it, to be honest with you. As far as my work goes. As far as my work goes, I haven't found it. That's not to say that it's not. I'll get to it. I'll have to keep looking. What do you think about the Baron Trump adventure book? Oh, you're talking about Ingerhoff or Ingerhoff? Ingersoll Lockwood. That was it. Ingersoll Lockwood in the Baron Trump book. Yeah, it's crazy. On a large enough timeline, things are going to start to overlap with each other a little bit. I think it's way, way more telling or way more interesting that the man that confiscated and hid all of Tesla's work after he died was Trump's uncle. I think that's way more important, and I think someone should bring it up to him. The theory is how mud fossils are from a reset. That Devil's Tower is where the foot of a giant was ripped off. What are your thoughts about that? Well, I'm not really sure how big these giants were, to be honest with you. I mean, Gilgamesh, when they opened his tomb, he was in a sarcophagus, and he was about 11 feet tall. So I don't know if that was considered a giant or if they were much bigger than that. There's also, people say they're giant prehistoric fossilized trees, and then you see sleeping people in mountains with grass covered all over them. I don't know. I really don't know with that. I think it's hella interesting, though, and I would love to see somebody do a little bit more work on it. I'm Assyrian, and I'm conflicted. You cannot doubt Assyrians existed. But now most modern Assyrians believe in Christ. Well, there are very few places where the Jesus mythos hasn't reached. One of them is Japan, believe it or not. The Japanese, on Christmas Day, do you know what they do? You know how, the Jews on Christmas order Chinese food? It's like a big joke. Or maybe if you don't know any Jews, you probably didn't know that either. But the Japanese people on Christmas Day, because there's not really Christians there, order KFC, believe it or not. Because KFC did this wild viral marketing thing in Japan, and it stuck. So that's what they do there. I always tell people, with the Assyrian thing, I always tell you to go to the etymology of a word. Go to its root cause, because its root is where the power lies. The very root of a word, the original meaning, is the rest is just noise. Sophia says, at Rachel, check out Guy Anderson about the Baron Trump Adventures book. He does a great breakdown on it. Good stuff. Who names a kid Baron? True. Well, barren means one of two things. Baren means that you can't have children. Like the story of Abraham and Sarah. Sarah was barren. And she told Abraham to knock up his servant. They had a child named Ishmael. And then God unbarrens Sarah and tells her she will have a child at 90 years old. So Abraham knocks up Sarah. They have a child. That one's name is Isaac, which later is the story of Abraham and Isaac, or Abram, because his name was Abram before the sacrifice. Abram sacrifices Isaac. Now, the Muslims believe that it wasn't Isaac that was on the mound. It was Ishmael. And that is the root cause of the Muslims and the Jews' problems with each other. That is the genesis. That is the etymology of it. Baron is also it's a royal title. John Trump, yep. The Devil's Tower is an ancient tree. That's possible. The tree stump, yep. Can you tell us about the first lawgiver, Hammurabi? Well, I do a breakdown astrotheology of the Code of Hammurabi, Sophia. The Code of Hammurabi is basically the basis of Judeo-Christian. You know how in the Bible it says, if you beat your slave but they do not die, you have to pay 30 shekels, that kind of stuff, right? Those kind of action rewards and punishment payments kind of thing, that all comes from the Code of Hammurabi. And I don't know where those laws come from, to be honest with you. Maybe they come from the Anunnaki, it's possible. But the Code of Hammurabi is the basis for the punishments that the Jews have in the Old Testament. They are actors bought and paid for anyone on television. Exactly. On my website, guys, you guys have seen people do this, right? Or you've seen this. Or you've seen this. Or you've seen the Eye of Horus. Things of that nature. I break down Illuminati hand symbols on my website. It's one of the first videos. I think on this channel that I've done. I think it was the first video I ever did. If you scroll back, you'll be able to find it. And it really explains it to you, because it explains like the devil horns and everything. It's when you understand the root of everything, it loses its mystique and power. Because what the elites like to do is invert and pervert things. First, they slightly switch it, like with the swastika. They just mirror image it, and then they pervert it. That's what they do. But I break that down, so. Thank you, Micah. You're welcome, Sophia. Gratitude to you, Micah. Miss Honeybee, thank you. Thank you, girls. I hope you guys are all doing well. I really do. If I haven't mentioned it yet, guys, my book series is Into the Rabbit Hole. Book 1 talks about MK Ultra. Book 2 talks about the pyramids and what they really are. Book 3 centers around the Rosicrucians versus the Knights Templar. Book 4 is the pandemic that I wrote in 2017. I predicted the whole thing, which if you read book 4 or listen to it, you'll see that. Book 5 is what happened to the Library of Alexandria. Book 6 is the Bohemian Grove and the Pindar. Book 7 is what happens when the meteor at the Kaaba gets stolen and turned into gold alchemically. Book 8 is Tesla Tech. And I'm not going to talk about book 9 yet because that's coming out in a few months. But that's the books, and you should read them in order because it's a series, it's a story. What is your view on Freemasonry? Is it good or evil? When I joined them, and I did join them, I am no longer part of it, by the way, and I speak out against it. When I did join them, I thought, okay, these are going to be esoteric people who are going to appreciate my knowledge, who are going to appreciate the work I've done, who are going to really, and it didn't work out that way at all. Freemasonry at the top are gatekeepers, and what Freemasonry basically is Kabbalah for the Goyim. That's what it is. It's Kabbalah for the non-Jews. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but I was a 32nd degree, and I lectured my work, and they took it down, and they said it was too revealing of the signs, and it was too risky for the fraternity's reputation. That's what they told me. So I left. And I've been speaking out against them ever since. Ange is here. They invert things or hijack them so folks stay away from the things they might be beneficial. Exactly. You're serious, a must-have. Your series, I'm assuming you meant. Rachel, did you ever get it from me? Who cares? We appreciate the work you do. Thank you, thank you. Dude, sweet. I really appreciate you and hope to order the rabbit hole soon. Happy New Year, Misette, to everyone. Thank you, thank you. Ordering directly from me, guys, benefits me directly. And it's worth it. The stuff you're going to learn in it, too. Like, I'm not just peddling stories or anything. Is it demonic? It's perverted. I don't know if it's demonic. I don't believe so. I don't know. Possibly. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't seen anything demonic while I was in there. But the entirety of Masonry is based around the story of Solomon's Temple. The entirety of Masonry. The original Masons were the ones that built the temple. And it's about, as you build yourself up, as your stature and your personage and who you are, as you build Solomon's temple, so you shall build yourself. And that's basically Masonry. I don't know if that's so much demonic, but it's Kabbalah for the Goyim. LOL, no, however, sounds like a must-have for me. Well, Rachel, reach out to me on social media or email me at intotherabbitholeseries@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up with that. Sophia says, how do we order direct from you, please? I'm going to put my email in the chat. All right, so that's in the chat. The other way is this. My website, debunkmywork.com. Scroll all the way down, and there's a way to email me direct. Sophia, I have physical book sets that I can send you. I also have audiobooks and digital books. So however you want to imbibe this information, I can take care of it. So reach out to me direct. Who is their God? The Mason God? It's the God of the Bible. That's who they believe. They believe that the God of the Bible is the one loving God. It comes off, the first thing when you petition to join a lodge, the first thing that they do is they ask you a bunch of questions. Have you been convicted of a felony? No? Okay. Because if you have a felony, unless it's a really rare circumstance, Like Jason Brashears will never be a Mason. But they ask you, one of the questions is, do you believe in the all-loving God? They call him the great architect because, again, masonry, right? Building, architect. They call him the great architect. And they say that it doesn't matter if you're a Jew, Christian, Muslim, or whatever. It doesn't matter what you believe in. As long as you believe in God, you can join. Joachim and Boaz. Well, that's just the sun and the moon. Why are so many of the evil elite that rule the world are Freemasons? It's a social club that it's I don't really have an answer for that, to be honest. You could say the same thing about the Jews, the Jesuits. I mean, if you're looking for something specific to fit into a category, you're going to find it, right? The truth is that, Masons, Jews, Jesuits, or whatever, if you look for it, you're going to find it. So I don't really have an answer to that, to be honest with you. Most Masons are good people. They're good people that just want camaraderie and sometimes share esoteric stuff. Not often, from my experience, but sometimes. Some people are esoteric, some people aren't. Some people just want to join. It's a fraternity. It's like joining a frat in college, only this one has intelligence instead of how many women can you bang. That's basically the difference. Can you explain what a fixed sign is? I can. Okay. So, you have 3 different kinds of signs. Okay, so let me back up even further. Okay, you have 12 signs in the zodiac. You have 4 seasons. So that means there's 3 signs in each season. The first sign in the season is known as the cardinal sign, which is why there's cardinals in church. Now, if I were to take one of the 12 signs, in astrology, you can actually break it's a 30-day cycle. You break them down into 3 10-day segments. Those are called decans, which is why you have deacons and cardinals in church, because it's astrology. The first sign is the cardinal sign. That takes you into the season. The second sign is the fixed sign. The third sign is the mutable water sign that takes you out of the season. It's called a fixed sign because it's between the 2 signs. It's between the 2 signs. And the reason it's called fixed is because it's fixed in their season. For example, Taurus is in the middle of spring. Leo is in the middle of summer. Aquarius is in the middle of winter. And Scorpio, or the eagle, as its evolved form is the middle of fall. So it's fixed because it's the dead of the season. So that's what a fixed sign is. Thank you, Micah. Rachel, I look forward to speaking with you. I look forward to your email, and hopefully we can connect on social media too. In 2020, I signed up to join the Rosicrucians. After 3 weeks, I came to the conclusion that I had my own magic, and why would I practice someone else's magic when I have my own? That's what I'm talking about. That's fantastic. You can join the Rosicrucians through the Masons too, by the way, or the Knights Templar. But here's the thing. I asked at the time my mentor who brought me into Masonry, or who I really looked up to, who turned out to be the guy that actually took my work down. I said, you have the Rosicrucians, you have the Knights Templar, right? And he was like, yeah. And I said, well, are these faithful recreations to the original ones? Like, I'm talking Jacques de Molay, Knights Templar 1307. Right? October 13th, Friday the 13th, the slaughter. What they believed in. And he said, I don't know. And I said, well, what the fuck is the point of joining some counterfeit just with the same name? So they didn't like that. They don't believe in Jesus. Isn't Moloch their god? No, I think you're looking for me to give you an answer that I already did. Moloch is not their god. Their god is Yahweh, who is a very similar deity from the same pantheon that Moloch is. I find that the spiritual community has hijacked things and is becoming another religious sect that is in it for the money. It's really sick. It's true. Look at Billy Carson. You know, look at what happened with Gaia. Gaia completely fell apart. It's being ran, I think, by Timothy Hogan now. Anything that grows legs and gets a following, people will want to put their 2 cents in and take it over. It is gross. 13th secret sign equals Draco. Well, it's not Draco, it's Ophiuchus. It's the serpent. Thank you. Followed for a while and was trying to understand what it meant. Finally caught you on alive. Much love from Australia. Thank you. Thank you, Team Rocket Andrew. Do you believe zodiac signs rule people's personality traits? Taurus, for example. No, the birth chart does. It's a combination of everything, and it doesn't rule. Look, getting a birth chart done. All it does, look, your personality is a certain way. Maybe this irritates you. Maybe this makes you happy. Maybe this is exciting to you. You don't know why, it just is. Getting a birth chart read explains to you why you are the way you are. So in the future, when something comes up that you don't want to deal with in a certain way, you can go, it's the difference between driving with a blindfold and then seeing clearly. So, okay, I understand why I am the way that I am. And as far as the zodiac signs go, like Taurus, for example, you're talking about the sun sign. That is the sign that you were born into. The sun is the ego. The moon is the shadow self. And the ascending sign, or the rising sign, that's who you truly are. So your sun sign is the mask you put on for people. And if you want to know who you truly are, if you want to understand who you truly are, try marijuana. Marijuana strips your ego. You cannot hide from your true nature. That's why some people, when they smoke marijuana or they take edibles, they get really paranoid. That's because they don't have a handle on who they are. That's because they don't know themselves. That's because they don't like who they see. You know, it's the people that have a good handle on things are the ones that just can ride the wave. Thoughts on Scientology? I found it interesting when it first started making waves. It's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. It's I refer to Leah Remini and her work when she left, exposing it. Because again, as something grows, right? Now you got to remember something. L. Ron Hubbard, that created it, was a science fiction writer. That was what he did. You guys remember Battlefield Earth? That was his story. Are there ways to help you through that? Yes. Remember the rat poison. Not everything is just pure poison. Otherwise, nobody would go to it, right? Even these preachers that preach the end of the world and everyone sells them their stuff, right? Well, they have to have something good in their message. Otherwise, people wouldn't do that. So who is that, Lucifer or Satan, as Jesus is the God of the Bible as the Trinity? I don't know what that means. Who is that, Lucifer or Satan, as Jesus is the God of the Bible as the Trinity? I don't know what you're trying to say. Lucifer and Satan are not the same thing. Satan is literally, okay, so in Hebrew, the word is Hashatan for Satan. Hashatan translates directly to English to adversary. But that basically, and Satan wasn't a red dude with a pitchfork. In fact, The earliest depictions of him, of paintings of Satan, from the 900s, he was actually blue, which is why in America you have the basketball team, the Duke Blue Devils, because the devil was blue at one point. These are adversaries. So two UFC fighters, that's Satan to each other. And I explained Lucifer too. They're two completely different things. But the religious people like to put them together. So Satan is Lucifer. Lucifer is Satan. Then you say that Lucifer was a good guy. Oh my God, he's evil. Can't believe that. Jesus is not the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible is Yahweh. And Yahweh was a Phoenician Canaanite deity. Same as Moloch, same as Baal. They were all Phoenician Canaanite deities. Many thanks. You're welcome. Look what was done to Turning Point USA. Exactly. You guys understand this. Please understand this. I beg of you. Please understand this. When something starts to grow and becomes and either has influence or becomes revenue generating, it is now no longer an innocent pet project. It is no longer me sitting here talking to 100 people, saying, hey, if you want to buy my books, that's how to support me. No commercials, right? You start to get a TV show or something like that, like Turning Point USA, it becomes an organism. And organisms fight for their survival. It's the nature of any creature on Earth, is to fight for its survival. And people who see it as a cash cow are going to try and come in. The whole Eric Kirk thing is absolutely incredible. Candace Owens, breaking it down. And she's getting dangerously close, Candace, by the way. She's probably got security 24/7. I wouldn't leave the house if I were her. But look what happened to Turning Point USA. Exactly. I don't think people realized how big and important it was until Charlie got killed, to be honest with you. Does being born in a fixed sign have anything to do with the person and stubbornness? Well, I'm not an astrologer. I'm an astrotheologist. So they're basically like cousins, right? We share the same blood, but we're two completely different things. We're related, but we're not. I'm not an astrologer. I will have an astrologer on. I will have Priscilla on at some point. She's my astrologer. She's been my astrologer for years. Those of you who stuck with me for a long time know her. And I will share her information, and we can get into questions like that. But I don't have an answer for you because I'm not really sure. Cannabis is a spirit plant, and if not used consciously with intention, can cause havoc. There were rituals done prior to its use. It has been stripped of this. I'm assuming similar to like what they do with ayahuasca. Which, by the way, if you ever want to do an ayahuasca trip, okay, you're going to go to a shaman in Costa Rica, let me tell you what you're going to experience. It's going to be boiling hot, number one. When you take ayahuasca, okay, your body naturally rejects it. It's like, that's what shrooms are. Mushrooms are food poisoning. So you just have a very bad case of food poisoning, and that's what mushrooms are. Ayahuasca, what's going to happen is you're going to throw up a lot, and you're going to shit your brains out. So a lot of people that go to these things, they wear diapers. You're throwing up and shitting. You're like an accordion, basically. But some people say it's the most spiritual experience they ever had. For me, I would just do bufo, but that's just me. But yeah, cannabis used to have this, yes. And the cannabis they have now is not the cannabis that we grew up with, I'll tell you that much. Jesus is the true God. So Yahweh must be the dark side. But Jesus is God, and Freemasons must worship Yahweh as a counter Antichrist. I don't know why you're so fixated on Freemasons right now, or the idea that Jesus is the true God, but this is not the channel for either of those. Give me something else to talk about, or I'm not going to put you back up. Jesus is not the true God. The Jesus of the Bible never existed. He is represented as the Son. I think you mentioned earlier today that Scorpio is only 6 days. Could you tell me, please, what days are Scorpio? Many thanks. I don't have these memorized, but that's sidereal. and I can tell you what day it is. Or Sophia, you could just tell me your birthday, and I'll tell you what it is. Sidereal calendar. Sidereal calendar dates. Okay. So this is sidereal astrology. Ready? What did you ask? Scorpio's only 6 days. What days are Scorpio? Scorpio is I'm sorry, it is 12 days. It is from November 23rd to December 5th. Because remember, like in this right here, this is tropical. It's an even pi of 30 degrees, 12, making a 360-degree circle, right? Sidereal is the actual size of the constellation, so it's the sun going through the actual size of the constellation. So Virgo goes from September 15th to November 3rd. But basically, that's what it is. You can look up the sidereal calendar online, basically, but those are the days. Catherine is back. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the IOOF? I'm not really sure what that is. Oddfellows, they seem to be at the top of things. Crown Fiona. I don't know who the IOOF is. Please tell me. They got Ayahuasca Church in Kentucky. Oh, that's all you really need, right? What's going on with Kara? That's the gal explaining about the straw man. Carrie? My friend Carrie? I don't know. You mentioned before that the Bible is like a farmer's almanac. Is it the whole Bible that has this theme or sections of it? It's one slice of a pie. One slice is astrotheology. One slice is numerology. One slice is etymology. One slice is symbology, and so on and so forth. The entire Bible, if you go to my website, which is in this chat, debunkmywork.com, I have every single biblical book broken down astrologically wise, or the astrotheology in them. And you can go and you can just peruse. Debunkmywork.com, guys. My dog is here listening, and he can hear your dog. Come here, baby. Come here. We're going to go say hi to Ange and her dog. Say hi, sweetie. See, she's Chihuahua, but she's also Jack Terrier face. Say hi, girl. Say hi, Ange. Yeah, you're such a good girl. I'm going to let you out soon, okay? I have to keep her in here because we're still trying to get them acclimated, the two dogs together. It's like a circus over here. Really good point on the turning point stuff. Thanks, Steve. Really, thank you. The Order of the Oddfellows, Skull and Bones. Oh. It's another social group. It's rushing a fraternity. I don't know if you've ever rushed a fraternity, but they make you do all sorts of wild stuff. It's the same thing with Skull and Bones. In Skull and Bones, you strip down naked. You get into a coffin. And yeah, while going over your sexual history. Or it's either that or telling you the most embarrassing story of yourself. It's one of those two things that you do. They made a movie called The Skulls with Joshua Jackson and Paul Walker that did a half-decent job at explaining who they were. Some say Paul Walker ended up catching the end of it, but what are the books that were excluded at the Council of Nicaea? If you were to pick up a copy of the Ethiopian Bible, there's 88 books. If you were to pick up a copy of the Bible from Amazon, first of all, guys, I don't know if you know this, but every time you buy a Bible online, right, it's copyrighted. The Bible is copywritten, right? So somebody owns the copyright. Well, who is it? It's the Crown. The British Crown makes money every time a Bible is bought. The Bible has 66 books. There's 22 books that were left out. And if you buy the Ethiopian Bible, you'll be able to see them. Nice doggy. Thank you. I just had to feed my dog. He was crying. Jamie, I love your dog. Your dog is adorable. And I think he is so good for you. I think he keeps you balanced, and I think he keeps you calm. And I think that your dog is really great. Beautiful dog. Thank you. Much gratitude for checking for me. Thank you. Thank you, Sophia. Sophia, I look forward to your email. Hi there, gorgeousness. Thank you, Ange. Sylvia says, hey, cutie. Her name is Lola. She's 4. I was just going to ask if the cum coffin was really a thing. Yeah. Yes, it is. Wow, your dog is beautiful. Hello. Thank you. Bye, Dead Zone. Losing you, Micah. All right, Rach. Rach, I look forward to your email, too. I can't believe King James 1 was what you said he was, and people be reading his version all around the world. Yeah, dude. You can go on Amazon and buy King James's demonology book that he came out with before he commissioned the Bible. He was also gay. King James was gay. King James was gay. We know. It was like a duke or an earl, his lover. We know this. Nobody reads. All the information is there, like with the books and everything. Everything is there. You just need to put it together yourself. And no one's going to do it for you, and they're just going to keep you stupid. Isn't the King James Version Bible the most accurate translation? And have you seen much of Dr. Pete Ruckman's work? Paulo, do you understand that in the King James Bible, they call him Jesus? First of all, if we're talking about Jesus, what did they originally say in the Bible? They say they will call him Emmanuel. Emmanuel was his name. Now, King James Bible calls him Jesus. There was no J in the language of English until the year 1524. J was the last letter to come into the alphabet. It was even later than Z. J was the last letter. Furthermore, in Hebrew, when you want to say Jonathan, it's Yonatan. When you want to say Jacob, it's Yaakov. J equals Y. Right? So when you call someone Jesus in a book, or Yeshua, as that was his name, Yeshua, that translates in English to Joshua, not Jesus. So no, the King James Bible version is not the most accurate. It's not even close. Oh, I like this, Fiona. We are all the crown. It's another inverted idea. The baby is crowning. We have one atop our heads. It's a jurisdictional thing. Yeah, this goes into Black's Law, right? You must have a copy of Black's Law with you. I love your Lola. Thank you, Sylvia. His lover was Buckingham. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for adding that. Was the true Kabbalah Egyptian origin? Everything borrows from previous things, guys. Everything borrows from previous things. What you need to learn or understand is the origin of everything. Where's the origin? Is there anything before the Sumerians that we know of, at least since this reset? The Sumerians seems to be where everything just started, like miraculously 6,000 years ago. A fucking civilization that wrote epics came out of nowhere. Where did they come from? If you tell a Jew that Kabbalah is Egyptian origin, they will slay you. I don't believe it's Egyptian origin. I think it's even further than that. I think it goes further back than that. Marley says hi to Lola. Oh, Lola, you have a boyfriend. You hear that, girl? Marley says hi. I thought Jesus was Jewish. Why is he got a Greek name? Because the Jews wrote the New Testament in Greek. It wasn't written in English. It wasn't written in Hebrew. They wrote it in Greek. That's why Christos, or the anointed one, or oil. English is the newest languages, yep. There is a reason why religious folks don't read the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible or the Message, because commentary of it tells you you're reading mythology and literature. Cool. I like that. Apparently Shakespeare left a clue in his help with translating the Bible. I did go over this a couple days ago. Psalm 46, the 46th word from the top is shake, and 46th word from the bottom is spear. Significance of 46 is the age which he translated. It's even further than that, Andrew, is because Shakespeare was actually 46 when 1611 came around and the King James Bible came out. Shakespeare was 46. He was born in 1564. That's why they used 46. Hey, all. Good evening, Mr. Dank. Hey, Razor. All right, guys. Well, I've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to go spend time with the fam. I'll be on tomorrow. Don't worry. So much love. I hope you guys reach out to me for the book series. Just in case. My dog's going to have a freaking fit, so I got to go. Much love, guys.